Hi everyone, and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsey. Thanks for joining me today as I continue to share some beautiful card ideas you can make with the July 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Sweeter With You. These 4 beautiful cards can be made with this kit, and if you're interested in watching me unbox the kit or seeing any of my other alternatives, you can click on the playlist link and I'll put it up here in the top right corner. For today's card, this is the 3rd alternative I'm sharing this week. I love this beautiful plaid pink along with some extra die cuts using the Circle of Season dies, which is a coordinating add-on, and I've used the beautiful floral die, and I've got a little technique to share with you about that, as well as the stamps from the kit. It has some coordinating die cuts with the strawberry as well as the top leafy part. So we're going to use those today to cut ourselves some stamped die cuts and adding some fun little sequins. It's going to be a beautiful card. So let's go ahead and get started. So I have already pre-cut the card base that came in the kit. We're going to be using the pink and orange plaid as our background. This has been cut to 3 3/4 of an inch by 5 inches. And then we also have a leftover piece of this pink polka dot piece. This was also a card base in the kit. It is 1 inch by 2 inches, and it's a leftover piece from alternative number 2. So make sure to check out my templates for cutting the card bases, and you can get those on my blog, and the link to that is below in the description. We're also going to use some strawberry slush as some border pieces. I've got this piece which is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and it's going to go underneath our large plaid. And then I have this piece which is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4, and it's going to go behind our greeting piece, which is just a piece of basic white cardstock, which is 2 inches by 3 1/2. And we're going to layer this on the left side and then stamp in it. So, and then these pieces are just some scrap basic white pieces for the stamping and die cutting. So let's go ahead and start adding these pieces together. This will have a little border. It's about 1/8 of an inch. If you like a smaller border, you're welcome to cut the strawberry slush into a smaller size. We're going to add this to the left side of that basic white piece. And then we can add it to the middle of the strawberry slush, and then we'll stamp on it. If you're wanting to stamp first, you're welcome to do that. So we're going to stamp with that garden green ink spot, the greeting, "Life is sweeter with you." And stamp it up a little bit higher on that white piece, but centered horizontally. So it's going to look something like that. And let's just put these off to the side. We'll put it on our card base here in just a minute. Let's grab our scrap pieces for some stamping. So we're going to do 4 strawberries. Let's start with the top since we've got the garden green out. So I'm just going to do 4 garden green tops. If you wanted to use a different color green, you could use Granny Apple Green's a beautiful color. Okay. And then for our strawberries, I'm going to use 2 colors. I've got my strawberry slush and my flirty flamingo. I feel like the Flirty Flamingo brings in another color that coordinates nicely with the plaid background. It is not a perfect match, but it does coordinate. I've got another scrap piece here. I'm going to do 2 Strawberry Slush, and then we'll do 2 Flirty Flamingo. Make sure to clean the stamp in between so you don't get that darker ink on the lighter color. Okay, so we've done our stamping. And then for the die cuts. So I've got my die cuts here, and I've got a little repositionable tape on them so that they won't move around on me while I'm cutting out the images. They fit over these stamped images perfectly. So I will go ahead and do that while I'm at my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. But this is the little flower die cut that comes in that circle of seasoned dies. And I'm going to cut out 5 flowers and give you a little tip on adding a little color to really make them pop. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so we've gone ahead and cut everything out with those die cuts, and let's go ahead and add the leaves to our strawberries. And I'm going to use some glue dots for that. Take a pick tool and add a little glue dot to the top of each strawberry. And then once I remove that paper backing, I can just pop on a leaf. And I like to do this before I am ready to put them on my card so that everything is just ready to go. And then for the flowers, I am also going to add a glue dot to the back of these. But before we do that, let's go ahead and add just a touch of yellow to the centers of the flowers. So I'm going to put a little scrap piece behind each flower just to protect my glass mat. And I've got my dark Daffodil Delight with the fine point, and I'm just making a circle around that middle circle. And that's going to give a nice little yellow center to the flowers. Sorry, that one got flipped over on the back. We'll just repeat that with the last 2. The yellow center can be as big or little as you can make it. There's no right or wrong there. And then on the back of those, I'm going to add another glue dot. So and I'm not concerned about the adhesive shining through or coming through that center dot. And when you actually look at it, it gives it this little bit of a shine. I'm not sure if that's coming through on my card or not, but it doesn't bother me. Okay, so now that everything is ready to put on our card, let's go ahead and do that. I've got my card base. This is thick, basic white cardstock. And I'm going to add my large plaid piece first. Just make sure it's got a nice border. Then I'm going to add my greeting with some dimensionals. The left sides will match up with each other. Okay, so the strawberry slush will sit right on top of the strawberry slush. So it doesn't go all the way to the edge of the card base. It will just go to the top, to the edge of that strawberry slush. Do you see how it sits right on top? Then we're going to add our strawberries and such. I'm going to use some little mini dimensionals for this. I'm going to start with a Flirty Flamingo strawberry just down here on the left, and put a strawberry slush one near the top, just like that. And then pop on a couple flowers one in the bottom between the two, and then one at the top between the two. So that's the first little grouping there. I think it's so cute. For these two strawberries, one strawberry slush and one flirty flamingo, let's go ahead and add them both with dimensionals. I'm going to start with that flirty flamingo, place it near the greeting, and then the strawberry slush at an angle just over it in the bottom right corner. Let's take another flower, and we're going to add it right to the tip of that flirty flamingo. So it goes between them, but it's not on the cardstock at the base. It actually is adhered to the strawberries. And then the last two will just go on our plaid paper, just like that. Super cute card. And if you have any embellishments, you can add those. I've got these purple sequins, and right now they're on sale. And so I'm going to use these. And I love this light pink color. I think it coordinates nicely. So I'm going to add a couple big, a couple small, just in that area with my flowers. And then maybe a couple more on the strawberries. Let's put one right here. Maybe one up here. There we go. And that just adds the perfect amount of bling to the card. Just a very sweet card. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create this beautiful card today. If you're interested in getting written instructions or close-up images on how to create this card, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.